What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel and check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to speak on LeBron James. And I know a lot of people probably have seen this commercial that LeBron James got, this Nike commercial. And man, my question is like the whole commercial is just nothing, it's just full of like lies and misrepresentations and all this other stuff. Talking about how LeBron James never folded. He conquered all of his enemies and all this other stuff. I just think that every chance LeBron James get, every chance LeBron James get to get in his own way, to to like almost like self sabotage. He that's what he do. And for Nike, this Nike commercial, for them to set him up like that, in my opinion, it to me it just makes it seem like Nike is trying to ruin LeBron James' legacy. And so people might say, well, why would Nike ruin LeBron James' legacy? Well, I think it's all about business. When you think about, you have Michael Jordan and LeBron James. LeBron James really, his merch, his tennis shoes really don't sell. Kobe Bryant shoes sell. Michael Jordan, his merchandise is still going through the roof years after his retirement. Michael Jordan is not even, he hadn't played in years. Kobe Bryant is no longer with us. And his brand is really taking off. LeBron James, his brand is not taking off like that. LeBron James is more of a liability than he is an asset for Nike. So Nike really don't need LeBron James. And it's evident, in my opinion, they want to make it look like they still in good standing with LeBron James. But I don't think LeBron James, in my opinion, he's not in good standing with the NBA. And if you're not in good standing with the NBA, you're not in good standing with Nike, because though they are one and the same. He's not in good standing with ESPN, you know, because he got a poor relationship with Stephen A. Smith. So the only person that the only people that LeBron James is in good standing with is that's Clutch Sports Management. Other than that, he don't have Nike on his side. He don't have the NBA on his side, and he don't have ESPN on his side. Like I said, Nike, his sales is are not his sales are not really good at all. Then with the NBA, you talking about how ratings are going down, how LeBron James has not been, and throughout his career, he has not been an ambassador for the sport. Don't want to participate in any of those, and he never participated in a dunk contest or anything like that. Throughout his career, it's always basically been about LeBron James just taking from the league. And then on top of that, never giving anything back. So he's not an ambassador for the sport. So not, the NBA can, with the ratings going down and less people watching it, they'll be good without LeBron James, right? Then you think about LeBron James and his relationship to ESPN, which really he don't really have a relationship. He just gave an interview with, what's the guy named Pat McAfee, right? He gave that probably about a couple months ago with Pat McAfee. But before then, LeBron James don't really mess with ESPN like that, because he feel like he don't have to. So a lot of decisions, LeBron James has alienated himself, and a lot of decisions that he made, I believe, are going to haunt him once LeBron James retired. His leverage was him being connected to the NBA and being in the NBA. So some of the things that are going to come out once LeBron James retire, they don't want that stuff to come out now, because it's also a reflection on LeBron James. But once those ties are severed, I think a lot of that stuff will come out. And for Nike to put this commercial out there when everybody's pushing back on it because it's just basically the commercial is just full of lies, and is the commercial contradicts everything that we have seen throughout LeBron James's career. And that's why LeBron James is getting so much pushback. And I think Nike, and I'm sure, I'm not even gonna say I think, and I know Nike knew that because this is what they do. This is what they do for. They have people that they do this for a living. They know pretty much, they can tell you like how a message is going to go come across before they even put that message out there. And with them putting they know that them putting that kind of message out there, LeBron is going to get some pushback. If you see that LeBron James is getting pushback, like he's been getting a lot of pushback lately. So you would want to be careful with his image if you know that people are going to be scrutinizing everything that you say about LeBron, no matter what you put out there. And when you make the kind of claims that he made in that commercial, then you knew that people was going to push back. But I think they did it on purpose, and for LeBron James to not really, for him to go along with it, just I don't know what him and his team is thinking. I just think that LeBron James must be so arrogant and so self-centered that he think that he could just tell the public anything and they'll buy it. He act like we can't see. He act like we don't know anything about sports, and he just think that he's just smarter than everybody else. But I don't know. He don't have somebody. He need to have somebody in his corner who is telling him, who would tell him that that commercial is just not a good look. For you to say stuff like that, you have to be very strategic with how you shape and sculpture your image and your brand. And if Nike is not going to do that for you, then you need to have somebody in your corner who can do that, who can help you do that. And LeBron James obviously don't have anybody in his corner who is helping him to to shape his image because you will want to be careful and choose your words wisely with what you say in your commercial, especially at this time when you know that you are under a lot of scrutiny with the situation with him getting JJ Redick the job, his son, getting his son on the team. Then he's playing with Luca. I mean, it's just so many different things that has happened throughout LeBron James' career and not in his tenure, even lately in LA, that people are just gonna push back on. So I'm sure that you had those advertising people, they would be able to come up with something that, because people probably gonna criticize anyway, but you don't want to give them more ammunition when you just don't want to give them more ammunition. They could have did something, put something like a message out there that was true, a message that like people wouldn't be able to push back against. Like, say for instance, LeBron James has he do some off the court. He dedicated his time to kids off the court, and he has that school or something like that. And then maybe you can connect your sneaker brand to the work that you're doing out in the public, something that's true, something that people wear as though they can't push back on that. You know, um, and that would have been more strategic than to give a speech about how you overcame and how you conquered this, and you have the crown and all that stuff that just didn't go over well. And Nike did not do LeBron James any favors. They didn't do him any favors when they did that. LeBron James needs to have somebody in his corner who could have pushed back on that, or at least help LeBron James reword that ad, because it's getting a lot of pushback. People are saying that um, he looked like he just sounds foolish when and it's that's why it's just obvious to me that Nike is really not they don't really mess with LeBron James like that. They don't care about his image. Um, but I think what Nike is trying to do, I think they're just trying to make it look like, well, we tried. We tried to, we did his because just imagine if Nike didn't do anything to promote LeBron James, then LeBron James will have a gripe. He'd be like, well, uh, they didn't promote me, they didn't this, they didn't that, but Nike, they promoted him. So he don't have that argument to fall back on. It's the same thing like if an artist like a rap artist or a singing artist they got to get one more album out. You're on a label, you want to get one more album out, but the the record label don't market your album the way they've been marketing the rest of your albums and your materials that you're putting out, and they don't put in a big lot of and so that would bring attention to them, and they be like, oh, they trying to sabotage them. So they don't want that message out there. They don't want that look out there. So they gave him a little BS commercial, and evidently, from the looks of that commercial, it looked like Nike do not mess with him like that, and they are ready for this relationship to be over with. But that's my take on it. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. With that being said, also don't forget to leave a comment. And with that being said, I'll check you all out in the next video. Peace.